Today, I want to bring you with me while we run some strides. Strides are accelerations that you do after an easy run to prime yourself for a hard workout or race the next day. Or there's something that you can do right before a workout to really prime your body and complete the warm-up process before you run hard. And for me today, I've just done an easy run. I finished running, let's see, about 2 minutes and 15 seconds ago, and had to get my camera ready. Here we are. And strides are so fundamental that I really want to make sure that you understand them, and more importantly, that you're actually doing them in your training. I think they're so fundamental. You can go and watch a middle school cross-country or track team, and they're going to be running strides. You're also going to find elite marathoners, middle distance runners, and everyone in between running strides. These accelerations are fantastic at getting you comfortable with running fast. They're fantastic at building leg speed, at improving your coordination and general athleticism. They're a great cool down after an easy run because you get to really open up your range of motion. And you can also take your shoes off and do them barefoot, only if you're ready for them, of course. And that will really help build some great lower leg and foot strength, while at the same time better reinforcing good mechanics. And that's a great aspect of strides, is that they really help improve your form when done consistently over a long period of time. So the thing to remember is that I'm going to do them on this grass field. You do not need to run strides on a very formal venue. Of course, we always talk about doing them on the infield of a track or on the track themselves. Strides should be about 100 meters in length, typically 20-25 seconds for most people. And the effort the speed of a stride is a little bit ambiguous. It's a little bit subjective. That's because strides, it's not a workout. This isn't something where we really need to value precision. Instead, we can just get going as long as we're completing strides in the spirit of strides, then we're still going to get all the same benefits. So what I'm going to do is a series of 4 strides with you today. I'm going to carry the camera. I'm not going to cut. I really want you to see my effort level. I want you to see my breathing. You know, I finished running a couple minutes ago, and now I'm talking nonstop like I tend to do. And so I'm a little out of breath right now, but you can take a couple minutes after a run before you start your strides. And what I'm going to do is run from this shady section right here where I'm at to that next shady section, which I think is about 100 meters. But again, it can be a little bit less or a little bit more. And the thing to remember about a stride is that it's not a sprint. It's a controlled sprint at maybe your 800 meter to 1500 meter race pace. But you could also run them a little bit slower, maybe 1500 to 5K race pace. Sort of depends on who you are, your comfort with strides, and what kind of race that you're getting ready for. So I think I'm ready. So I'm gonna start my stride, my first one here. And the thing to remember is that the first one may not feel great. You know, I just ran about 2 miles, so, you know, I'm warmed up, but I haven't done any fast work. I haven't done any drills. I don't feel particularly poppy with my step. I don't feel like I've got springs in my legs. So this one might feel a little bit clunky, a little bit, you know, uncoordinated, but that's okay. I am excited about our newest sponsor, Ice Barrel. Go to icebarrel.com/strengthrunning and use code STRENGTHRUNNING, no space, for $125 off your Ice Barrel. Ice Barrel makes ice barrels. These are ice barrels meant for at-home ice baths. And I love this product because, number one, it's big enough to get your whole body in there, but it's not so big that you can't fit it, even in a relatively small space. It has a lid that keeps in the cold temperature because it's insulated, and it's made from 100% recycled material right here in the US. But the real reason why I love Ice Barrel is because of the mental benefits you can get from cold plunges. Just going in an ice bath for 5 to 10 minutes has been shown to improve your mood, reduce anxiety and depression, and it gives you a nice hormonal boost at the end of that ice plunge. So if you're feeling down, then it's a great way to pick up your mood. And it's one of the reasons why I like to end my showers with about 1 minute of really cold water. Now, I actually don't like using ice baths after most of my running workouts or long runs because we don't want to short circuit the adaptation process. But they do come in great handy when you do a little bit too much. If you get lost on a long run and end up doing too many miles, if you run that workout a little bit too spicy, a little bit too hot, and you know you've gone too fast, an ice bath can help give you a little bit of extra recovery so that you reduce your injury risk on those days when you're doing a little bit too much too soon. So to get your own ice barrel, go to icebarrel.com/strengthrunning and use code strengthrunning for $125 off. All right, I'm gonna gradually accelerate to about 95% of my max speed. It should feel like a controlled sprint, maybe mile or 5K race pace. And overall, it really should be at the peak of the stride. So you're not running that for the entire stride. You're building, cresting at that top speed, and then gently decelerating. The whole thing should take about 20-ish seconds. So let's get going. All right, here I am, accelerating, feeling good. A little hard with the camera. And now I'm decelerating. And you come to a stop. Whew, that was fun. So, not hard, you know, but by the time I was like, oh wow, I'm running fast, I'm already decelerating. So it's kind of a process that helps you play with speed. That's why I love strides. You really get to experience speed, you get to touch speed, but not in a way that's very fatiguing. And once you start doing strides regularly, you will feel a lot better the next day. So maybe you are getting ready for a workout the next day and you want to feel better during the workout. Running strides the day before is a really helpful way of doing that because you really prime the body, you increase muscle tension, you do essentially skill work, and this skill work is really important. It kind of builds that coordination and athleticism into your stride so that when you actually do have to run hard during a workout, you're just much more primed to do so. Whew. Talking while recovering from strides is a little bit hard, but that's okay. It is a wonderful day here in Denver. I'm in beautiful Cheeseman Park right now. And so I'm feeling pretty good right now. I could get going on another stride, but you know, I like to see runners walk around, you know, just kind of meander for a good 45 seconds to a minute, maybe a minute and a half at the top end. You know, as soon as your heart rate feels to come down and you're like, all right, I can go again. It wasn't very hard. Take a couple deep breaths and we can go again. I'm gonna hold with my left hand now. See if that's a little better. Okay, ready? Let's do it. Just starting off at a quick run, gradually building, and here we go. And I'm decelerating. Nice and easy. Okay. Here we go. That was about 20-ish seconds or so, I think. That's the thing about strides. They don't have to be perfect. I'm still getting in these nice accelerations. Now, what I'm doing now is a little bit different. I'm doing them on grass. Grass, many coaches might say, is not the ideal place to do strides. I would say maybe during summer cross-country base training, great venue to do strides on grass. But one of the problems with doing strides on grass, especially in shoes, I am wearing my road shoes. One of the problems with running strides on grass is that the footing is a little bit uneven, and so instead of really focusing on form, you just might feel a little bit like you're flailing around a little bit on the more uneven surface. That's okay, but if you are a middle distance athlete, you're doing a track race tomorrow, you could do strides on the road or on the track. Doing it on a harder, more uniform surface like that is going to be more advantageous because, you know, you are essentially increasing the muscle tension even more. You know, you can increase muscle tension in a variety of ways. Running on a harder surface is one of them. Running fast, like doing strides, is another strategy. So you can certainly stack them, and you get a nice little stimulus that way. All right, time for another stride. Great thing to do after an easy run. All right, let's go. And there we go. Stride number 3 is done. One of the key things to remember about strides is that I would rather you run a little bit too slow than a little bit too fast. If you run a little bit too fast, you actually just risk feeling sore the next day from sprinting. We don't need to sprint. Again, this is a controlled sprint. It is mile race pace. Maybe if you're an advanced runner, 800-meter race pace. But somewhere around your mile race pace is sort of where you want to be for the speed of your stride at the very peak. And I'll include some links underneath this video that go into more detail through text form on how to execute strides. But a helpful way of thinking about it is if you were to graph the pace of a stride, it would look like a bell curve. And this bell curve is emblematic of the intensity, the effort, or the pace of one stride. I'm ready for my last stride. I'm gonna do 4 today. Typically 4 to 6 strides is the sweet spot. You might see advanced runners or pros doing 8 strides. I think that's a little overkill for 98% of runners. So if you're doing 4 to 6 strides at a stretch, you're pretty good. Okay, last stride, here we go. Started to jog, still accelerating, building. Now maybe mile race pace, and I'm slowing down already. And I'm just coasting to a nice stop here. And there is my last stride. So I brought you with me as I did some strides today, just to show you that they shouldn't be very hard. You know, a couple deep breaths and I'm already feeling back to normal. One of the reasons why I'm still struggling is because I'm talking during my recovery. But if you're not running strides, I think you should start today or tomorrow. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Like I mentioned before, strides are so fundamental that I think we should always be including strides in our weekly training. Maybe the first week back of running after a marathon, you don't do any strides. But within a week, you should be running strides again. They are your introduction to workouts. They are your introduction to running hard. They help with form, mechanics, coordination, leg speed. Really just fantastic, almost like a drill that you do after an easy run or before a workout. So check out the links under this video for even more on strides. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.